You're watching the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Salah to settle it in front of the Kop.
Yes, welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Before we get into this on the radar transfer roundup show, please remember, as I've said how many times, guys, it's a Friday, the sun's out. I hope you're feeling good, and if you are, smash that like button. We don't do this for poos and giggles. We do it so we can give you the content, but you have to like it in return so we can keep on doing it. It's a beautiful cycle that we have here on the Kop TV. I want your thoughts more than ever on this video. The title of this video I'm going with is, what do we need, right? And I'm asking you at home, so if you're watching this, you know, make sure you comment with what do we need, how much will it cost as well. I want to get everyone's opinions on this. Sorry. Choking, unlike the Georg Schmadtke in the transfer window, hopefully anyway, touch wood. But I want to get all of your thoughts and then do a video when we finish the transfer window and look back from what we needed then to what we got in the end. So I'd like to do a video on that, so please get all your comments in with what do we need, how much it's going to cost, and you can help us greatly by doing that. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is your home of Liverpool transfer news until the window shuts. Pretty much whatever happens, we will be across it, so make sure that you press subscribe, more now than ever, by the way. So let's get into this one. What do we need? In my opinion, it's 3 midfielders, which we're already linked with, which is good news, a centre back, and a question mark over a right back as well. I'm pretty confident. I want your opinion on this as well. I think we're good for strikers. I don't think we necessarily need to add more. If anything, that's why Firmino's leaving, because the competition is too much. 5 strikers up there, all world class on their day, and I'm more than happy with seeing a Ben Doak maybe added to that forward line as well, if we can give him the opportunity. So happy with that. But me, I'm putting my cards on the table and saying 3 midfielders and basically 2 defenders. And again, could you buy someone that, like a Mickey van der Ven, for instance, the Liverpool fan, could you buy him at centre-back and then go out and buy a Koundé, a Pavard as well at right-back, who again we've been speaking about in the last couple of days on the Kop TV if you haven't been aware. But then do you just not buy a centre-back, primarily a centre-back like a Mickey, or do you go for a Pavard or a Koundé who can play in both positions? Now, in my opinion, minimum of 5 signings. We've also just heard now, confirmed, that Adrian is getting a contract extension and is in Klopp's plans for next season. Kelleher, we're still unsure of what's going to happen there, if I'm honest. Obviously, he wants the game time. He's young. Got some game time on the last day of the season. Didn't really work out for him. 4 goals conceded. But we're literally reacting to this news now. Adrian signs a 1-year deal extension. How do we feel about that? Do you think that Liverpool could have maybe gone for something else in terms of bringing in a fresh number 2, the likes of what we've not seen yet? Adrian, of course, being at the club now since 2019, the summer of 2019, made his debut at home to Norwich, and of course in his second game was the hero in that penalty shootout in the Super Cup final against Chelsea. But I wanted to pose this question to you, right? I think we want 5, but again, realism comes into play. Could we get 4? And these are the 4 that I'm going to ask you, and the total of them, in my opinion. And then I'm going to ask you, how would you rate that summer transfer window out of 10? So get on this one, right? Let's say we get McAllister in the next couple of days. I saw him having a trim down in Brighton, maybe getting ready for his announcement pictures. Who knows? Very, very close, that deal, as we know. But let's say 60 million for him. Let's say 50 million for Thuram. I think that one is going to be slightly more than Kone. Let's say 35 million for Kone. And let's say 35 million for Van der Ven. That is a total, guys, of 180. I said on the show a couple of days ago, in my opinion, Liverpool would have, or have to have, available 150 to 200 million pounds to spend in this window. Around about 175, 180 here that I've gone for. Now, if that was our summer transfer window, that's a defender, 2 midfielders, and another attacking midfielder in McAllister. How would you rate that out of 10? I'd like you to send in your answers in the comments. 180 million spent, 4 players brought in. How would you rate that summer transfer window when it shuts on September the 1st? So, yeah, I mean, Van de Ven, I'm getting excited looking at him. We again saw his viral video, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, playing for his current team, Wolfsburg, where he sprints. I'm watching it now. He sprints back genuinely about 100 yards to clear one off the line. Keepers diving at him to thank him for not letting that goal in, as you know. But he has the top speed, apparently, 35.97 kilometers an hour. He also is 22, he's 6'4". He can play as a left back as well and play in a back three. Injury history, the most he's ever missed due to injury is a hamstring injury 2 seasons ago, where he missed 10 games. So apart from that, and again, this is an important thing that you do have to look at, people, the injury history with these players. To me, obviously there's a slight hamstring injury there where he's out for a good 76 days 2 years ago. However, for me personally, it doesn't look that bad as a centre back, and look how quick he is as well. That's the only thing I worry about, if that hamstring injury was the result of him being that quick, because I genuinely have never seen a centre back run that quick before in a clip. So if he is running at high speed, will that affect his hamstring? Will he pull it? Again, something that the sporting director, the manager and the medical team will be definitely assessing. But we know Jurgen Klopp is a huge fan of him as well. So I'm going kind of all out for Mickey van der Ven. Great name as well. Sure, there's going to be a song about him over the time if he does come to Liverpool. Big shout out to the Road End podcast as well, Dom. I went over on his podcast this week talking about the summer transfer window. So go and watch that if you can. I've just retweeted it for you there. McAllister, as we know, 99% done. Kone, as we know. Thuram, as we know, in talks with. And it's really positive to see Liverpool not only really putting their markers down with players that maybe not all of us have heard of before, which obviously shows you the scouting process in place. It obviously shows you Jorg Schmadtke, his relationships with German football especially, where a few of these players, well, 2 of them could potentially come from. So that's good, but also it's the pace of it. It's the quickness of this news. Now, Liverpool, as we know, they don't leak news necessarily without having some bit of truth in there. We saw Jude Bellingham. We know that we're interested in him. We can't deny that. There's no hiding it. I don't really want to see Klopp talking about how we were close for him, because it would just hurt me even more. But we know we were in for him, and these players as well. We've put our targets out. We've cast the net, to give you a little fishing reference, and hopefully we've caught, with some nice bait as well, hopefully we've caught some big old 20 pounders. I don't know, is that how much fish weigh when you catch them at fishing? I don't know, Jack would know, the cameraman. But yeah, really looking forward to the transfer window. And again, I'm asking you the question, what do we need? What is it that is going to take us from 5th right back up to title challengers? Obviously these signings will have to bed in and adapt, but someone like a McAllister, you can throw him straight in. And I think he offers you so many different attributes from a box-to-box situation that you'd basically play him every game. He's 24. He's coming into the next few years into his prime. This is the time where he really, after already winning the World Cup, by the way, goes on to cement that kind of, wow, he's a great player status in the Premier League. So massively excited about him. Kone as well, and Thuram, from what I've seen. Again, I'm not going to lie to you, wasn't massively across all of their games before we were linked with them. But again, you can trust Liverpool's recruitment process in the last 7 years. I'd say it's been pretty, in terms of the players that we've got, you could argue maybe Keita is the only one really who hasn't worked out. Ben Phillips, of course. But in terms of the players that we have got, obviously we should have been buying a lot more in the last few years, but in terms of players that we have brought in, 90% of the time, and again, feel free to disagree with me, let me know what you think, but 90% of the time, they're on the money, really, in terms of making an impact on the team, being a good person as well. As I said yesterday, we don't have any bad eggs in the camp, really. So let me know what your thoughts are on that as well. So again, I'm asking you the question, what do we need and how much will it cost? I've priced up, I want 5, but I think Liverpool will go in for 4 and hopefully spend around about £180 million this summer. So yeah, listen, again, on the radar, your bi-daily, I'm going to call it, transfer update show here on the Kop TV. Again, loads of great content coming out next week. We're actually going to go to the top of the Liver building An amazing, historical, beautiful architecture in Liverpool. The part of the Three Graces, we're going to go up to the top of the Liver building and film a video up there, hopefully with Mario. And then Hot Topics again on Tuesday with myself and Mario. Looking forward to getting back on there. It won't be in the studio this time. I think this one will be online, but then next week we can go to outside Anfield. Let us know what else you'd like to see as well. Could we do a Kop TV go-kart little adventure video? Could we do something to do with food? Could we go out and play football again like we did with Still Ryan? Let us know what other content you'd like to see. I think that's the good thing about having an audience where, and again, you guys know when I do live streams, I'm always reading out pretty much every comment because the feedback is important and we want to make for you. Obviously, you guys are watching it. So if you want us to do something a bit left of field, if you want us to do something a bit amusing, involve other creators, what would you like to see? And if you haven't seen the Kop Bins series we did, the Kop to bottom, make sure you go and watch that as well. And of course, Hot Topics. But yeah, until then, there's not really much else to update you with, if I'm honest. But I will be back on Sunday night to give you a roundup of what's happened over the weekend in terms of transfer news. So just to reiterate, Liverpool definitely in for McAllister any minute now. I really do believe that could get confirmed in the next 3 days. Kone again, deep in conversation, in negotiations with his people in terms of bringing him to Liverpool, as well as Thuram and of course Mickey van der Ven. Big Liverpool fan, 6'4" centre back, airily Liverpool next season are going to be incredible. When you look at Gakpo, Van Dijk, Konate, Mickey van der Ven, Nunez, Diaz is hardly small as well. So really looking forward to next season, and again we'll be following Liverpool on their pre-season tours of Germany, Singapore and here in the UK as well. Hearing as well that we might have to use Preston's ground for a home game in the pre-season, so it allows Anfield Road end to get fully fixed and ready, which does look great by the way. The photos, I don't know if you guys have seen them, go and check them out. Excellent stuff. And again, Liverpool have inquired for Pavard and Koundé as well, so we'll be keeping a firm eye and ear on that news too here on the Kop TV. So make sure you press that like button, make sure you send in what we need, how much it's going to cost in your opinion to improve this Liverpool squad to take it from 5th to 2nd or 1st next season. I am about to go and do a video rounding all of this up and more on DR Sports, so make sure you go and watch that as well. So from me in sunny London, shout out to you for watching, big up, and see you next time. Take care, all the best. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Please, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Kop TV.
The voice of football's most famous stand.